le ciel bleu vole en silence.
Fall is fabulous, but it can also be tricky because we're wearing a lot more clothes and sometimes we don't quite know how to put everything together. So today I'm talking about 10 fall mistakes that I see a lot. These are styling challenges that we all have, and I'm going to break them down for you in today's video. So welcome if you're new here. My name is Netta. I'm a personal stylist. My whole focus is to help women over 50 love what they wear every single day. I had a recent question that I thought was very interesting about why over 50. I think a lot of things change over 50. I don't believe in dressing our age. I believe in dressing for our energy, for our personal style, and for flattery. I'm going to pop up my little triangle here. I think it's important to dress in a way that makes us feel beautiful, but also objectively makes us look our best. And I also believe that it's really important to be modern. But there are a lot of things that do shift after 50. Our preferences shift. Obviously, our bodies have different requirements and we may feel like we look better in some things than we do in other things. And also, the way that things are marketed at us changes over 50. Like the brands that are coming after us over 50 change. And there's this just general idea about what we should be wearing over 50. And that's why that's such a passionate topic for me and something I feel so strongly about. So that's my whole rant about style over 50. I think it's really important that we lean into what we look good in objectively, what is modern, and what we love. And we need to check all three boxes if we really want to continue to look and feel our best over 50. Because let's just put it this way, the brands are not on our side. They are coming for us in terms of the types of clothes that they like to market at women over 50. And I'm here to just call them out on it, right? Okay, so let me get started because I have a lot to cover. Again, as always, I do have a couple of resources I want to point out. First, my masterclass series is ongoing. The next one is September 22nd. After you watch this video, we are really doing a deep dive into building your fall wardrobe, and I would definitely encourage you to check that out. The other thing is that my fall 2025 Modern Classics Wardrobe Guide is here at last, and I'm super excited about it. So this is like a living, breathing resource for you because it's going to be updated weekly. Like the catalog will be updated weekly. There is a place in the catalog for you to make comments and to give feedback, and I'm going to continue to add videos to the playlist. So very excited about that, and I've had such great feedback about it. So it's absolutely free. Definitely check that out at nettamanley.com/modernclassics. Okay, let me get started. So fall styling, we're wearing a lot of clothes, we're wearing a lot of fabrics, we're wearing a lot of layers, and it can be really challenging to do all of that and to do it in a way that's flattering and makes us feel cute. The first style mistake that I see all the time in fall is what I'm going to call no skin or shape. It's really important to have balance in your outfits. And if we want to not look like, boxy and shapeless in our fall clothes, it's important to check one of two boxes. You either need to show a little bit of skin, which we can do, of course, when it's a little less cold, or we need to show a little bit of shape. If we don't show either, we're going to feel like boxy, overwhelmed, and swallowed up by our clothes. We see this on the runways a lot. And this is one of the things that I talk about that doesn't even look good on models. Like it doesn't even look good on models. And maybe they've got like a wind machine and they're styled to death, and it still is not their best look. It's really important to find that balance in terms of showing a little bit of shape or a little bit of skin in every outfit. So again, this is obviously with practical considerations in mind. Earlier in the season, in fall, we can show maybe a little neckline, a little part of our lower arm below the elbow, a little ankle, a little whatever parts of skin you can comfortably show when it's not too cold out. As it gets colder, we're gonna skip showing skin and we're gonna show shape instead. That means that we're not wearing something straight and boxy and wide head to toe. That if we're wearing a chunky sweater with wide leg pants, maybe we're gonna do a little tuck. If we're wearing a flowy blouse with a flowy skirt, maybe we're going to tuck or belt. But it's about showing skin or showing shape in every outfit whenever possible. Again, if we don't want to feel boxy, like oversized, unflattered in our clothes, then it's important to have that element of balance. And this is something that I think we often miss. Now, when we're talking about showing a little bit of skin, I talked about the neckline. I talked about showing even just like pulling up your sleeves and showing the lower part of your arm. But another easy way to show skin, again, earlier in the season, is to show the top of your foot. Like wearing maybe a chunky sweater and a great pair of pants and a wool coat can look great if you're wearing it with either a sleek shoe, like a bootie, or a shoe that has a low vamp, like a pump. But when you wear it with a chunky shoe, then you're going to have an overall look where the whole thing looks very one note and very boxy. Now, again, it's the same thing with shape. If you're wearing something unstructured on the top and unstructured or flowy or boxy on the bottom, and you're not showing, any kind of shape, whether it's in the waist or in the neckline or in the hem, then you're going to feel unflattered by your outfit. Okay. The next rule or next mistake that I see happen a lot is something that I call man pants with man shoes. I see this on websites. I see this on women in the Facebook group. I see this everywhere. And it's basically wearing a really masculine looking pant. Maybe it's that chino that I talk about. Maybe it's that beige boxy man pant. Maybe it's a plaid pant, whatever. It's just like a menswear inspired. It's a pant that is not flowy and feminine. It's just like a classic boxy pant. Wearing it with a boxy shoe. Maybe the shoe is a lug sole loafer. Maybe the shoe is a chunky boot. Maybe the shoe is just one of those like comfort clog kind of things. But it's the man pant with the man shoe combination. Again, it's really about balance. And when we put, masculine with masculine in the same outfit, it can really feel heavy and it can really feel manly. And so if you want your style to look a little bit more feminine, consider pairing something like a man pants with an ultra feminine shoe. Like J. Crew used to do this better than anybody. They would show like a khaki pant with a really pretty embellished or feminine flat or pump. So it's really about kind of doing something a little bit contrasting for both interest and balance. And I think this is, again, really important as we get a little older, because we can lose some of the feminine qualities that maybe we enjoyed seeing in ourselves as we were younger. So like our waistline straighten out, and it's just everything shifts in that sense. So having a feminine element in every outfit can really help balance the natural, like, tailoring masculine kind of style that fall already has. So if you're doing a man pant, do a feminine shoe. If you're doing a man shoe, maybe try a more feminine pant or a feminine dress or silhouette. Okay, next tip, using dated outfit inspo, or next mistake, using dated outfit inspo. So it's the long cardigan, the floppy fall hat, and the infinity scarf, like over and over and over. When people share their fall outfit inspiration, their fall outfit ideas that they love, I'm still seeing so many women in the Facebook group and women just send me, oh, I love these fall outfits. Skinny jeans, taupe block-heeled booties that have a low shaft, a long cardigan, an infinity scarf, a floppy fall hat. That aesthetic was a very 2015 aesthetic. That was 10 years ago. But those pictures are still circulating on Pinterest, and people are still seeing those pictures on Pinterest. And because we're still seeing them, we're still thinking that they're relevant, and they're not. The aesthetic has completely changed over the last few years. So shirts are not long anymore. They are, again, there are going to be updates on this, but shirts are not long like they were back then anymore. They are either cool and angled, or they are shorter. Pants are not skinny like that anymore. Long cardigans have not been in style for a while. We're not doing the fall hat look like that anymore, and the boots look completely different. Also, infinity scarves. Scarves are a huge trend this season. Infinity scarves are definitely not back. So it's really like about updating your style inspiration. One of the best ways to get style inspiration is from your favorite stores. And often the pictures that I show of modern outfits in these videos comes from places like Madewell, J. Crew, Banana Republic, Bowden, whatever. Like, we're gonna find some really good, like, wearable style inspiration there. Now, there's street style inspiration as well from people outside of Fashion Week and whatever, and it's fabulous. Maybe not always as easy to duplicate or always as actionable or practical, but super fabulous style inspiration that way. But make sure when you're searching on Pinterest for style inspiration, you're adding 2024 or 2025 in there so you get something from this decade, because there's a lot of old inspiration floating around. Okay, next thing, I need to keep this moving. It's wearing outdated boots. Wearing outdated boots. Boots have changed just like everything else has changed. And I'm seeing a lot of like really round toe, like blocky low booties. People are sharing pictures of these with me and asking me, what do you think of these boots? I'm like, these are not fall 2025 boots. These are fall 2015 boots. So again, it's that low-heeled booty with the cutout. It's a low-heeled booty with a scrunch top. It's the the block-heeled booty that we all wore, a long time ago. But it's also just dated knee-high boots, and many of these have like kind of wedge soles. I'm gonna pop up a couple here. Many of them have very like aggressively round toes. Many of these are still made by the comfort boot brands, but fortunately, those same brands that make the dated comfort boots also make modern comfort boots. And so I'm gonna have options for those in a catalog for you. But boots are they're a go-to shoe for most of us for fall winter. So if you're going to update one thing for fall, update your footwear, update your shoes. And I know shoes are tricky over 50. I know that they are. I know many women have issues with their feet. But again, there's something out there for everybody. There's a modern boot silhouette out there for everybody. This season we are seeing like a scrunch boot as one of the trends, but we're also seeing a classic pull-on boot. So that could be a riding boot, it could be like a rain boot style, even in leather, but it's a simple, sleek boot that is a pull-on style. This is a classic boot that is worth investing in because it is really one of those styles that's not going to date. You want to keep it really, really simple, and you want it to be in a neutral that's close to the color of your hair. That's a boot that is going to last you, for a really long time. So the simpler, the better, because again, details date. But update your boots, update your boots, update your boots. Otherwise, every outfit that you wear with the outdated boots is going to feel like it's stale and stuck in 2015, and it's just an easy way to update everything in your wardrobe. Okay, not updating essentials, that's another thing. So the things that we wear the most are the things that we should update first. So if you're wearing jeans a lot, your jeans from 7 or 8 years ago are probably in need of an update. And I kind of get triggered when people say, oh, but aren't skinny jeans back? Skinny jeans are objectively not back. We're not seeing them even in like teens. Sure, there are going to be some cutting edge people that are going to pull out skinny jeans. They're going to style them completely differently than we did 10 years ago, and the jeans themselves look completely different. So even if skinny jeans do re-enter the mainstream, what we're going to do is we're going to need to buy a new pair of skinny jeans. We're not going to be able to pull out our skinny jeans from years ago because they're going to look completely different. And the skinny jeans we're seeing out now, the few that we are seeing, are higher waisted and are not fitted below the knee. They're not like jeggings. They're not super stretchy. So essentials change. Jeans change, tees change, cardigans change, sweaters change. This is why my Modern Classics wardrobe guide was designed to give you modern, updated essentials. These are pieces that are very 2025, but also you're going to get a good 5 to 10 years out of these pieces. These are pieces that are not going to date quickly, but they are modern classics. So it's important that your classics be modern. And I did a video on the 10 timeless things if you want to look at what you could invest in if you wanted things to really last a long time. But jeans are one of the quickest ways to date an outfit. And when I'm looking at Pinterest or inspiration photos and I'm trying to place that outfit, I look like when it was from, I look at the jeans and I look at the boots. And then I look at the accessories. Those are things that are a dead giveaway, like skinny jeans with holes in the knees and a pair of taupe, again, block-heeled booties. That is a 2015 outfit. And so you want to update your fall wardrobe. You don't need to update everything. Update your jeans, update your boots, update your t-shirts, update those workhorse pieces that we wear all the time. Your whole outfits, your whole wardrobe is going to look fresh and updated. So again, t-shirts have changed. They used to be long and we would wear them tight and low. Now they're shorter and a little bit boxier, which I find a lot more flattering because the fabric is more substantial, doesn't hug every lump and bump. Again, cardigans have changed. They are short. They used to be long. Now they're high hip length or even waist length. And so your essentials have changed. Check out my Modern Classics wardrobe guide and make sure that your essentials are modern. Okay, next, linebacker layers. I have experimented with some of these abysmal layering strategies in the past, and I literally look like a miniature Michelin man. Like it's just, we have to be careful when we're adding layer upon layer upon layer in fall, and we want to make sure that we're only doing one thing that's chunky in any outfit. And sometimes I'll see like like a chunky vest under like an oversized or chunky coat with like a chunky scarf and a chunky boot, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like that is a lot. So it's really like making sure that you're not adding a lot of bulk to your body with your layers. Now this is especially true if you have tend to have a little bit more shape in the upper half of your body. If you have a strong upper body, maybe your shoulders are broader or your back is broader, maybe you've got a fuller bust or you've got a fuller middle. I have a fuller bust line for my size, and so I do not need to add a lot of bulk to the top part of my body. I am not going to be doing like a bulky sweater under a bulky vest with a bulky, over a bulky sweater under a bulky vest, with a bulky coat on top. Like that's not going to be a cute look for me. So it's really important to balance. Again, I'm going to go back to the skin or shape rule. It's really important that if you're adding something bulky, you balance it with something sleeker. You show some skin or you show some shape, and not just add one cozy element on top of another. Okay, the next mistake that I see all the time is being too basic. So the thing about fall clothes is that fall clothes are cozy and cuddly, and they can actually end up being quite boring if we're going for the basics. And I'm going to get into that in a second when I'm talking about sweaters. But it can be very easy to be like, okay, well, it's cold, I'm going to do a sweatshirt, and I'm going to do jeans, and I'm going to do my simple boots. And we forget two things. We forget accessories and we forget color. Fall is, a season when many of us lean into our neutrals, and the Modern Classics wardrobe guide is built on neutrals, but it's designed to be the foundation of your wardrobe and not your entire wardrobe. So you really want to bring some personality into your fall pieces, and it can often be a little harder to bring personality into fall than it can be into spring, summer. Maybe that's just me and my clients, but this is something I hear about a lot. So fall clothes, if you've got the foundation, you've got the Modern Classics, you need to insert some personality. You need to insert some color, and you need to insert some texture. You need to insert some accessories. You want pieces in your wardrobe that really feel like you and kind of elevate everything you're wearing. So if you feel like you're kind of stuck in this cozy, comfortable, practical fall uniform that is mostly neutral, and you're just kind of wearing those things on repeat, ask yourself which accessory or which layering piece you could add that would work with what you already have for fall, that would really add some personality, some color, some pattern, some interest, some personal style into your fall wardrobe. Usually that's going to come down to a couple of things. It's going to come down to a pair of shoes or boots, whatever your go-to fall shoe silhouette is, in an interesting color. Maybe it's wine, which would go with everything this season. Maybe it's leopard or python, or adding an interesting layer. Maybe it's a beautiful coat in a gorgeous color. Maybe it's a fun faux fur coat. Maybe it's maybe you decide you want to do a coat in leopard. Is that the best idea I've ever had in my life? I think that might be the best idea I've ever had in my life. If everything in your wardrobe is boring, just add a leopard coat. But it's, again, really bringing, personality and color and accessories into your fall wardrobe. And I see a lot of just very kind of blah fall outfits. It's very easy to do that in fall. Okay. Next is ignoring the vibe. So I get a lot of questions about when do we need to retire white linen? When should I stop wearing sandals? When do we stop wearing espadrilles? When are sundresses out of the question? It's not about the individual pieces in 2025. As you know, it used to be the no white after Labor Day rule, and we know that that's not true anymore. Some of the most fabulous, like old money, quiet luxury outfits that we see are based on white and winter white. It's really about the overall vibe. So you could bring your white linen pants or jeans into fall if you're pairing them with a sweater. You can bring your raffia pieces into fall if they're dark, maybe like a dark raffia and it's trimmed in leather. So it's not like, oh, you can never wear straw in winter and you can never wear linen in winter. It's really like, what does the linen look like? What does the straw look like? Is it part of a fall outfit? So you're really looking at the whole outfit. Now, if you're wearing a sundress, espadrilles, and a big straw hat, that is a summer look. The whole vibe is summer. The whole vibe is summer. So whatever you bring into fall needs to feel like fall and needs to be styled as part of an overall fall outfit. I do think like espadrilles, really summery raffia pieces, again, like a white linen sundress. These are pieces that definitely, as we get further into fall, we're going to want to retire. But I'm going to show you, I've got an outfit next week where I'm showing you how to transition summer pieces into fall with just a few styling strategies and tweaks. So even like sundresses, you can layer them, you can do different things with them and continue to wear them a little bit more into the season. But I think by the time the end of October rolls around, most of that stuff should probably be shelved. And I'm talking as someone here in Florida, where theoretically I could wear a white sundress in November and it would match the season in terms of weather, but it doesn't match the vibe. It doesn't match the mood. It's not a fall feeling. And so here in Florida, it's often more about capturing fall colors in still Florida friendly silhouettes than it is about completely adjusting to fall silhouettes because it's still warm. The next thing I want to talk about is not styling sweaters. I think I'm going to do a whole separate video on sweaters, so I'm not going to get into it in detail here, but sweaters need to be styled just like everything else, and they can be very ho-hum. They can be very blah. They can be very boring. So with sweaters, we want to do different things to make them a little bit more interesting and part of an outfit and not like just a cozy afterthought. So, there's so many great strategies for styling sweaters. One of the things I'm seeing a lot right now is layering a white t-shirt under a sweater. You can also layer a cool jacket over a sweater. And then one of the easiest styling strategies for sweaters right now is to add a long pendant necklace, like on a silk rope or leather rope, like a big sculptural pendant necklace. Those are absolutely back and really, really fabulous with sweaters. It's also about what you style the sweater with. Are you just doing a sweater and jeans, sweater and jeans, sweater and jeans on repeat? Or can you style your sweater with a more interesting pair of pants? Can you style them with a silky skirt? Can you do a little front tuck on the sweater to give yourself a little bit more shape? Sweaters are just like any other basic, and if you want them to look their best, you're going to want to style them. So it's just wearing basic sweaters in basic ways can look very blah and can make you really sick of your fall wardrobe before fall even really takes off. Like if you live in a cold climate, by the end of October or by the end of November, you could just be over your sweaters if you're not really playing with styling them and having fun with them. So again, I'm going to do a full video on sweaters. So let me know if you've got questions about sweaters in the comments, but you want to style your sweaters so that they look and feel cute, not just utilitarian. Okay, last thing I want to talk about is jackets in the wrong lengths. So, I could probably do a whole video on this too, but this is really the art of layering. So again, if we were looking back at 2015, everyone wore long tunics, often long fitted tunics, but long tunics with cropped jackets. And so the shirt was longer than the jacket. In 2025 and for the last few years, the shirt and the jacket have been either, like when you're looking at a cropped jacket, the shirt and the jacket have been about the same length, or the shirt is shorter than the jacket. The shirt is shorter than the jacket, not longer than the jacket. We don't do cropped jackets with long tops anymore in 2025. It is really a very dated look. The two most useful lengths to have are cropped and full length. So a full length wool coat will go with everything you wear, and of course, it's a practical piece that you're going to need to wear all season long. But a cropped jacket can also be great both earlier in the season, later in the season. And a cropped jacket can often be the perfect layering piece to wear with dresses and skirts. So rule of thumb, if you're looking for one, try cropped with dresses and skirts and try full length with pants. But both are almost equally versatile and both work with pants and skirts and dresses. So those are really the layers that we're wearing right now and how we're wearing them right now. But the key takeaway here is don't wear your tops longer than your cropped jackets. And the second tip I will say is if you're wearing a long coat over a dress or over a skirt, make sure you've got a defined waistline if you're using the coat as part of an outfit and not just as a cozy layer. If the coat is closed and belted and you're just outside obviously in the cold, that's totally different. But if you're wearing the coat like a trench coat or whatever as part of an outfit, you want to make sure you've got waist definition underneath the dress. It can be very hard to have a long loose coat and a long loose dress. Again, long over long, loose over loose can often be a difficult styling strategy. So make sure that you've got some shape underneath the coat for a more balanced and flattering look. So I hope that was helpful. That was a lot. 10 fashion mistakes I see all the time in fall. And it's, again, this isn't a judgment thing. This is just giving us some strategies and some ways to style the things that we reach for and wear all the time in fall and that I think are genuinely challenging to style. Like, it can really be hard to work with bulky layers, to work with coats, to work with chunky sweaters and make them look cute. So I hope some of these tips helped and some of these illustrations helped. And let me know what you found most impactful. I want to hear if you had an aha moment from today's video. Please comment below and let me know what your aha moment was. If you haven't subscribed, come hang out with us. Come hang out with us. This is such an awesome community. So please subscribe. And of course, don't forget to like this video if you liked it. Love you guys.